What's up, everyone? I'm gonna today, well, in this video, I'm gonna play the same deck that I played in the last game with this hero, with the deck with this hero in it, and the other deck that I'm gonna play it against is this deck again with this hero. I like these two decks a lot. I like this deck a lot, and as you can see from the last video, the deck with the Jacob Fair hero, the 8 cost hero, lost. But it lost before he could play cards because he just didn't have enough crystals on the board. So I'm just gonna do a rematch to see how it plays again. If there's not enough crystals, usually I just put like the base amount of crystals in the deck. How the formula of the decks that I build are pretty much about 12 crystals. You can only have 40 cards in your deck. 12 crystals, 12 12 of them will be crystals. Most of those 12 will be basic crystals, and then like four four to five of them, 4 to 6 of them will be advanced crystals. And the more basic crystals you have in your deck, out of those 12, the higher chance you play cards. You can play cards. At the same time, if you have more basic crystals in your deck, you won't be able to ramp up as quickly as possible. What I mean by ramping is being able to play as many crystals as possible within a single turn. That way you can start playing your bigger cards. And advanced crystals help you do that because advanced crystals have a higher. They're worth more crystals than basic crystals. Each basic crystal is only worth can only be used to play. It's only worth one crystal, while advanced crystals could be worth more than one crystal. So if you have all 12 crystals as basic crystals, and you can only play one crystal during your turn, whether they're basic or advanced, that means you're only playing one resource, one crystal or resource during your turn. So every turn that you have, you'll only be able to play one crystal. So during turn one, you have one crystal. During the second round, you have two crystals. During the third round, you have three crystals. But if you have advanced crystals, you can play like some advanced crystals have a cost, crystal cost. So they're not like basic crystals that you can play for free. But the upside of having a crystal cost is that they're usually worth more than an advanced crystal. So if on turn one you play one on basic crystal, turn two you have an advanced crystal that has a crystal cost of one, you play it, then sometimes the advanced crystal that you play, you may be able to use it the same turn, and sometimes you may not. If you're able to use it the same turn, then you'll be able to have two or more crystals, well, two or more crystals that you may use that turn. Not to forget that you already tapped one crystal to play that advanced crystal. You may still have two or more crystals to use to play that turn. And even if you can't play that turn, during your next turn, you'll have three or more crystals that you may use to play cards. So advanced crystals give you the benefit of, of having more crystals, more resources to play cards. But the downside is you need basic crystals already on the battlefield, or you need crystals already on the battlefield before you can play an advanced crystal. So if you have more advanced crystals in your deck than basic crystals, you won't be able to play any cards at all, or you'll be barely able to play cards because you won't have any crystals, any free crystals that you can play in order to play those advanced crystals. So out of those 12 crystals that I out of the 12 crystals that I usually have in my deck, most of them would be basic crystals, and then a few of them will be advanced crystals. And depending on the cost of the advanced crystals, if the advanced crystals have a higher cost than one or two, then I have to put a bit more basic crystals. So those 12 crystals, I mean, I have to increase it simply just to balance out the fact that I'm having more a higher cost advanced crystals in my deck. But if the crystals that I'm playing, if the advanced crystals that I have in my deck are all like one cost or two costs, then I'll fit them in within those 12 crystals. If the crystals within those, if the advanced crystals, like I said before, are worth three or four more crystals before you can play them, if they have a crystal cost of four or more, or five or more, or 10 or more, I'll know that I won't be able to play them easily. So I have to put a lot more basic crystals in my deck. So the 12 crystals that I have will be increased from 12 to like 13 or 14 or 15. But the thing is, the thing you have to make sure is if you put too many crystals in your deck, you'll only be drawing crystals when you need to be drawing cards, useful cards that you can play. So that's the balance. So how I usually do it, like I said, I usually have 12 crystals, 12 cards that are all crystals. They could be advanced. They can be all advanced crystals. Well, obviously they can be all advanced crystals because you need basic crystals to play cards. Excuse me. So I usually I try to balance all the crystals that I need within those 12 crystals. Most of them will be basic crystals. Some of them will be advanced crystals. I at least put a few advanced crystals in the deck to make it easier to make it easier for me to play cards. And then the remaining is it 38 or is it 28? The remaining 28 cards. Let me do the math. The remaining cards out of the 40, yeah, it'll be 28. The remaining 28 cards out of the 40 will be the cards that I actually use, the main cards of the game. And how I do is I pretty much just multiply the remaining cards. I usually just use the simple formula that I have. 12 cards will be basic crystals, right? 12 cards of a 40 card deck will be basic crystals, and then I'll have 9 cards with 3 copies of them, and that'll give me 40. And let me just make sure. Okay, I guess I probably did the math wrong. So about 12 cards. Since I did, I guess I messed up a little bit. I guess that's probably why, but that's pretty much how I do it. 9 cards out of the I'll use 9 cards with 3 copies of each. 9 different cards with 3 copies of each will give you 27 cards. And then you have one extra card that you add that can actually be an extra crystal, or it could be an extra card, like a removal, a special instance card, a special situation card. So 27 cards out of the 28 will be cards that you need. Then that last one card that makes it 40 will be whatever card you want it to be. It could be a basic crystal, it could be an extra basic crystal, an extra advanced crystal, or it could be an extra card of your choice. So 27 cards or 28 cards will be crystals of your choice, and then 12 crystals, which most of them will be basic crystals, and then some of them will be advanced crystals of your choice. And that's how I make my 40 card deck. So I usually, like I said before, there's usually a mix. My maximum number of crystals is usually 12. I mean, my minimum number of crystals is usually 12. And then I see, depending on how big the crystal cost of the cards in my deck are, I may increase the number of crystals in my deck, or I may reduce the number of crystals in my deck, but never lower than 12. Because when you get even 12, even if you have only 12 crystals in your deck, it's still that's like the strict minimum where you can of a 40 card deck. That's like the strict minimum where you can still get by for most games without worrying about without stressing about not having enough resources. When you start going lower than 12, that's when you start getting into trouble, where you won't have enough cards to play it. You won't have enough crystals on the board to play your cards. So 12 is pretty much the magic number for me. 12 crystals, whether they're advanced or basic, and then the remaining 28 cards could be whatever cards you want it to be. And if like I said before, out of those 28 cards, just 9 cards times three copies of 9 cards will give you 27. So it's not really that much. 9 cards is not really that much to choose from, but it's still something. You don't have to have all 3 copies of a card in your deck. You can have only 2 of each card, and then just try to balance it out yourself. But just let you know, 3 copies of 9 cards give you 27. So if you really want to make a bare bones 40 card deck, just pick 9 cards, make 3 copies of put 3 copies of them in your deck, put a bunch of crystals, 12, 13 crystals, and you're good. You've already made a deck. It's that simple. 40 cards, and it's not really that much, but it's enough to give to it's enough to it's enough. It's enough number of cards, to actually make a good deck. Enough. Yep. It's enough number of cards to make a good deck. And the 40 cards, that's 27 to 28 cards that you can put in your deck. So there's a lot of cards you can there's a lot of combinations you can use within those 28. They all don't have to be the same cards. I mean, you don't like I said before, you don't have to put 3 copies of the same cards in your deck. It could be only 2, it could be only 1. It's up to you. So in this game, I've already shuffled this deck, but I'm just gonna shuffle it again for a little bit. Let me make sure. Let me make sure I didn't mix the heroes. Nope, I did not. Okay, I just do a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Now it's this side. This deck can pretty much, like I stated before, it ramps up very quickly. I mean, you can get a lot of resources out very quickly, and then start playing big cards before your opponent player can play any cards. So when this deck works, it is very overpowering. When it doesn't work, it is really very, disheartening. But that's pretty much how most games are. Most trading cards games are. So I'm gonna draw 9 cards for both sides, and both sides have both players or both decks start the game with 0 attack points, 0 defense points, and 27 health. 0 attack points, 0 defense points, and 27 health. I'm gonna draw 9 cards for that side. Let me see if I like my hand. It's not bad, so I'll keep it. Have a few creatures. So I actually like the hand a lot. I have a few creatures that I can play with this deck. And I have one wood morpher. So, like I said before, a wood morpher during your turn, you can tap it as if it's a crystal on your side of the battlefield, as long as you control a basic domain, a wood domain. And this is a wood domain right here. I know there's a glare, so you can't see it. So I'm not playing it right now. I like this hand. I'll keep it. Now this side, draw 9 cards. I have two crystals. I have two relatively low cost creatures. Have another crystal that summons me more crystals. And what I need now, and I also have my hero. So what I really need now is two more crystals, and then I'll be able to play my hero, and then start and then pretty much just once I have the hero on the board, it's more easier to win the game with this deck. While this deck, it really doesn't matter too much if you have a hero on the board, but it does help. So I like both hands. I'm gonna keep them. Now I'm gonna choose who goes first. Flip a coin. Flip a coin.
It's heads.
Okay. That side's always heads. This side's always tails. So since it's heads, this player starts the game, plays the crystals. There's nothing else to play. End the turn. Now it's this player's turn. Draws a card. Plays a crystal. Taps that crystal to play this creature. It's one crystal cost creature. And that ends the turn. Now it's this player's turn. Draws a card. It's the hero. Taps its one aura crystal. To play this one aura crystal cost, the crystal cost is always on the top right. Yeah, top right of a card. And this crystal enters the battlefield in a tapped orientation. And that ends this player's turn. Now it's this player's turn. Untaps all crystals, all tapped cards. Draws a card. Plays a crystal. Exactly what I needed. I tap two crystals to play this two mana crystal cost creature. Strong. This creature was played last turn, so it can attack this turn. I tap it to attack, and it attacks the opponent player and deals 2 attack damage to the opponent player. So the opponent's 27 health will be deducted by 2, and now it has 25 health. When the health of the opponent player is reduced to 0 or below, that opponent player is removed from the game, or the opponent player loses the game if there's only 2 players. Now is this opponent player's turn. This player's turn. Untaps all crystals. Draws a card. Plays a crystal. Taps this crystal that's worth 4 crystals. And then plays this 3 crystal cost creature. Now I have 1 crystal left out of the 4. That's 3. 1, 2, 3. This creature can be tapped as if it's this crystal, or this crystal. So now I have effectively 4, 5, 6, 7 crystals that I can use to play cards. I tap 4, 5, 6 crystals to play this Adept Squire. 6 cost. And I have nothing else to play. But I triggered the identity, which I didn't state early in this video, but I usually state in every beginning of every video. Each player can start the game with an identity of their choosing. They don't need to. It's an optional mechanic of the game. And this is just an example of an identity. One of the identities of the game. But the identity that I'm using are 2 different identities. Each identity has 2 effects, and each effect has a crystal cost before you can trigger that effect. So this has a crystal cost of 5. So you need to tap 5 crystals of any type because it's the red crystal behind it means it's a metro crystal. A metro crystal costs. Sorry, the red crystal means it's a metro crystal cost. That means you can use any. You can tap any crystals to pay the crystal cost of this card or of this effect. This also has a metro crystal cost of 2, so you can tap 2 crystals. It could be 2 mana crystals, 2 aura crystals, or any combination in between. And since these are neutral cards of the Knights of Temix expansion, their crystals, their effects will have metro crystal costs. But not all cards, not all identities will have metro crystal costs. Some of them may have mana crystals with the blue crystal. Some of them will have aura crystal costs with the green crystal. So it just depends on the hero itself and the expansion. So let's get back to it. This side has a Jacob Fair identity that has the effects that has the two effects that states modify a card on the battlefield by 6. That means you can increase or reduce the crystal cost of a card on the battlefield by 6. So if I modify this card, I can either increase the 6 crystal costs up to 12, or I can reduce it down to up to 0. It could be I can reduce it down to 0, I can reduce it down to 4, 2, 5, or I can increase it to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's what modify means. And then its other effect states gain +1 attack points. Since you're the player on the players have the starting points of 0 attack points, 0 defense points, and 27 health points. When you gain +1 attack points, your 0 attack points will be increased by 1. So that's that effect. And then the other identity is also a Jacob Fair identity, and this is each hero has 2 identities. Jacob Fair. So this is the effects that I'm telling you are the identities of this card, this hero. So the other identity is the identity that states slant 1. That means look at the top 1 card of your deck. You may place it back at the top of your deck in any order, or place it at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then its other effect states move a card on an opponent player's side of the battlefield back into his player's hand. And what I'm going to use now, since I'm still on this side, I'm going to use the 0 cost slant 1 effect. And I think I'll keep that. This is what's at the top of my deck. I'll keep it, place it back at the top, and then I'll end my turn. Now it's this player's turn. This creature attacked last turn, so I untap it. Untap these, draw a card. This is what I drew. Temple of Scorn. I play a crystal. I tap all 3 crystals to play this 3 crystal cost creature. And I choose not to attack this turn with these 2 creatures. I end my turn. Now it's this player's turn. Untaps everything that's tapped. Draws a card. This is equivalent to 8. So right now I can either play an 8 cost card, or I can play the 7 cost crystal. Or what I can also do is play this 10 cost crystal, which I think is probably better for me to do it. I think it's better for me to play this 10 cost. But if I play the 10 cost, I won't have any more crystals to play any cards. If I play the 10 cost, 10, 11, 12, that'll be 12 crystals. Yeah, I think I'll play the 10 costs. So I tap 10 crystals, 8, 8, 9, 10. 4, 4, that's 8, 9, 10. And play this crystal that enters the battlefield in a tapped orientation. Have nothing else to play, so I end my turn. Now it's this player's turn. Draws a card. Oh, I forgot to untap all my cards. So I tap 3 crystals to play this 3 crystal cost, this 3 metro crystal cost advanced crystal that enters the battlefield in a tapped orientation. And its effects lets me state summon up to 3 copies of a basic crystal on your side of the battlefield. So I summon 3. I'm using these as placeholders for the 3 mana crystals that I'm going to summon. So I only have basic mana crystals on my side of the battlefield. Now I have 3 mana crystals that I can use to play cards this turn. These are the cards in my hand. There's nothing that's worth 3. And the only thing I can play is this one, which I'm not going to play right now because I'm going to play with my hero. So I end the turn. Before I end the turn, I could attack. If I do attack, I won't attack. I'm not going to attack because I can attack next turn with my hero. Well, actually with myself. Once I play my hero, and then I'll potentially be able to get rid of this. So I'm not going to attack. I'm going to end my turn. Now it's this player's turn. He draws a card. Untaps everything. Well, untaps everything before he draws a card, but I've already messed up the order, but it's okay. So this is worth two right now, but once I play my hero, it'll be worth 2 plus the crystal cost of my hero. So this is worth 2 metric crystals right now, like I stated before. Sorry. And then when I play my hero, it'll be worth 2 metric crystals plus the crystal cost of my hero. So since I haven't played a hero right now, it's worth 2 metric crystals. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 crystals. So what I can do is tap 2, 4, 5, 6. No, wait. 4, 5, 6, 7 to play the 7 crystal cost Crystal of Fortune. It enters the battlefield in an untapped orientation, and I can give it the effects of up to 2 crystals. So I give it the effects of these 2 crystals. So right now, this crystal is worth 4 mana crystals and 2 metro crystals. So that's 4, 5, 6. I tap this 6 crystals to play this 3 cost creature. And I have 3 crystals left. Plus 1, that's 7. That's 4. And then these 2 creatures are worth 6 each. So that's 12 plus 4. 16. No, that's 3, 4. That's 12. Yep. 12 plus 4 is 16. And I only need one more to play my hero. So I have 16, 8, 9, 10. or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I use 16 crystals. Well, actually, no. I use 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. That's 12. I guess let me see. Right now I have 16 crystals. I want to play these two cards. 16. I guess I can play all three of them. So I have 16, and this is 8. These two are also equals to 8. So that's 16. So I tap all crystals and creatures to play these three creatures. That's all worth that's worth 16 altogether. And I have nothing else to play. I slant 1. This is what's at the top of my deck. I don't want this right now. So I'll place it at the bottom of my deck. And then I'll end my turn. I could attack, but I'm not going to. And now it's this player's turn. Untaps everything that are tapped. Draws a card. Let's see how this goes. So I draw a card, and right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crystals right now. I need one more crystal if I can play my hero. And I'm gonna overdraft. I overdraft 1, 2. I overdraft 2. That means my next 2 turns I won't be able to draw a card at the start of my turn. And I've drew the crystal that I wanted. I play that crystal. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crystals. I tap all 8 crystals. To play my hero. And now the stats of this hero, this 3 attack points and this 1 defense point, will be added to my 0 attack points and 0 defense points. Until this hero leaves the battlefield. So now I can attack again, but now there are more creatures on this side. I don't know if I should attack. I am not going to attack. I'll wait till my next turn to attack. This is the problem with this side. With this deck is that it can play out its high cost creatures very quickly. So it makes it very hard to win. Well, if I can get rid of the creatures, hopefully I can win. So now it's this player's turn. Draws a card. Untaps all crystals. So this is worth 6. Tap 6. $10, $11, $12, $13, $14. Maybe I don't have to do all that. Let me see. So these two are worth 6 each right now. So if I tap 1, that's 6. That's 6. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I tap this one. That's 16. I tap one more. That's 17. Then I play my 17 cost hero. and it states set the HP, the health points of all players by set the health points of all players to 27. So I took 2 damage earlier, so my health points now goes back to 27. I think I messed up that. I think I messed this up a little bit. It's a bit better. And now I can play crystal if I do want to. And now this crystal that's used to worth 2 will now be worth 2 plus 7. That's 19. This crystal that is used to worth 6 will now be worth 6 plus 17. I don't know how much that is, but it's a lot. I tap 1 crystal to play this R crystal. And then I tap 19 crystals, which is this one. I tap this crystal to give me 19. And I use those 19. I use 2 of the 19 crystals to play Enthralling Symphony, which is discard your hand, then draw 9 cards. I have no cards in my hand, so I'll just draw 9 cards. These are the cards in my hand. I've already played a crystal this turn. And I have no removals, which is what I want. Which is what I want. So I'll tap. Yeah, I have no removals in my hand. So what I'll do is I'll discard my hand again by playing this card again. So out of 16, I remove another 6. Another 2. Now I have 15 crystals to play card, and I draw 9 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then this goes into my mortuary. And finally, I get some removals, which isn't really what I want, but it'll work. So this is 18. I have 15 crystals. This is 14. And I use 14 of those 15 crystals to play this card, Alia's Domination, which states kill a card on the battlefield with a crystal cost of 13 or lower. I target this hero. This hero enters the mortuary, and display 3 attack points and 1 defense points will be reduced back to 0 attack points and 0 defense points, because this hero's attack points and defense points will be deducted from its players or its controllers. So now I have another 16. No, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Have this creature will now be worth 23 crystals. These are 18. I use 18 out of the 23 crystals to play this card. It kills this one. I play it again. Kills this one. You can only have one diagram on the battlefield. Or you can only have one diagram with the same name on the battlefield. Sorry. So now I use 18 minus 18 minus 23. I think that's 4. Well, it is not 4. I think it's 23 minus 18. Oh, 5. So I have 5 crystals left. I think I tapped this. 5 crystals left. I use 2 of those 5 crystals to play this creature, Neophyte. I use 3 crystals to play this creature, and it replaces this creature, one of these 2 creatures on the battlefield. Now I have another creature that I can tap now. I tap it to trigger the effect of my identity, which states move a creature on an opponent player's side of the battlefield back into his player's hand. I move this. I tap 8 of those 23 to move this creature back into his player's hand. And now all these creatures attack the opponent player. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7 attack points. 4 attack points, 3 attack points, that's 7. 1 attack points, that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 11 attack points. So 27 minus 11, 16 health left. So this opponent player has 16 health left. And then I end my turn. No, before I end my turn, I slant 1. I place that at the bottom of my deck. Now I end my turn. Now it's this player's turn. It's not gonna. It can't draw a card this turn because it drew a card last turn. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's supposed to be 8, but oh, here it is. Here's 8. So I have 8 crystals right now that I can use to play cards. Oh, before I do that, I played my hero last turn, but I forgot to trigger an effect. I forgot to trigger this effect, which states when you play a hero, summon this card from anywhere in your deck, hand, or mortuary. I summon this card, this crystal, enter the battlefield last turn and untap. Now I untap it, and it'll be worth. It gives every basic crystal. It turns every basic crystal into 4 crystals. So each basic crystal now it's worth 4 crystals. So this crystal will now be worth 4 mana crystals. But this is an advanced crystal, so it's only be worth 1. So now I have 4, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crystals. 7 mana crystals that are each worth 4 crystals. Now I'm going to shuffle my deck. I'm thinking this side's going to lose anyways. So I tap 6 crystals. I tap 8 crystals to play this 6 cost crystal. And it states move a card on the battlefield with a crystal cost of 2 or lower. Oh, from a mortuary. Move a card from a mortuary with a crystal cost of 2 or lower into your hand. Then reduce this crystal cost to 0. I move this card from that player's mortuary into my hand. This 2 cost card, and then reduce its crystal cost to 0. So I have 2 crystals left. That's 4. I tap 4 crystals to play this creature. I have 8. This is 8. I'll save this 8 for my hero. Now I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 crystals that I can use to play cards right now. This would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that works. So I play this twice. I play this Temple of Law twice. It says give 2 enemy creatures, enemy leaders, or opponent players weaken 2. I play it twice. So it replaces this advanced crystal. Play it once. It replaces this advanced crystal. Play it again. And I give the opponent player weaken 1 twice, and then I give these 2 creatures. I give these 2 creatures weaken 1. And what weaken 1 is, what weaken 1 means is anytime this player takes damage, it'll take 1 more damage. So I think I tapped 8 to play that, which is these 8. And I have the 0 cost. I have a 2 cost. I tap 4 crystals. To play this 1 cost creature. This 1 cost accenting wind, which gives me +4 attack points until the start of my next turn. And I gain pacifier until the start of my next turn as well. Pacifier means for each creature that I attack, or that I'm attacking, or that is attacking me, all those targets lose 1 attack point before they deal their attack damage to me. So they'll do 1 less damage to me for each creature that's there. So now I have +4 attack points and pacifier until the start of my next turn. I have 2 crystals left. I use those remaining 2 crystals to play Windfall on this creature. And this creature will instead of taking minus -2 health points, it'll take -3. Because this creature, this card gives it +2 attack points and -2 health points until the end of turn. Until the start of my next turn. Actually, until the end of my next turn. Sorry about that. So now this creature will have +2 attack points and -3 health points until the start of until the end of my next turn. But this creature's it has 3 health points. It gains an additional 1 health points during an opponent player's turn. So right now it's an opponent player's turn. It has 4 health points. At the end of this turn, its 4 health points will be reduced to 3. And then this -3 health points will further reduce that 3 health points to 0. So at the end of this turn, this creature will die. Then I use this 0 cost creature, this 0 cost card, I play it. Then I discard my hand, then draw 9 cards. And these are the 9 cards that I drew. I don't think I played a crystal this turn. I'll play a crystal. I tap 8 crystals to play my hero, my 8 cost hero. There it is. And my hero states, you may attack opponent players as if you're a creature on the battlefield. So now I have 7 attack points because four from this card plus 3 from this hero. Now I have 7 attack points that I can use onto the start of my next turn. I have 4 crystals left to play cards. I tap those 4 crystals to play this 1 crystal cost accenting wind again that I just drew, and it gives me another +4 attack points. Now I have 11, yeah, 11 attack points that I can use to, and I gain pacifier again. So I have 2 pacifiers. These effects stack. This keyword effects stack. So now instead of each play that deals damage to me, each card player or leader that deals damage to me, having their damage reduced by 1, it'll be reduced by 2 now. So I have 11 attack points. I use the remaining 3 mana crystals to play this creature. And I have nothing else to play. I attack the opponent player. And now creatures can block me. This creature blocks me. Since it's gonna die anyways. And I deal 11 damage to it. This creature dies. I take 4, 5, 6 damage minus 1. So I take 7 damage. Now I have 11 health. This creature dies. And then I end my turn. Now it's this opponent player's turn. Draws a card. And then what I'm going to do before I draw a card. I'm going to overdraft 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll play a crystal. And I'll tap 4 crystals to play Ravaging Thunder, which states. Actually, no, I won't tap 4 crystals. I'll tap 19 crystals to play Ravaging Thunder. Ravaging Thunder only costs 4 mana crystals. So out of those 19, I have 15 crystals left. So I play Ravaging Thunder. It states destroy all rare cards on the battlefield with a crystal cost of 3 or lower. These 2 cards have a crystal cost of 3 or lower. And these are the only rare cards on the battlefield with a crystal cost of 3 or lower. So I move them into my mortuary. Have 15 crystals left to play cards. I use 14 of those 15 crystals to kill a card on the battlefield with the crystal cost that's equal to or lower than this spell. This spell has a crystal cost of 14. So I'll kill a card on the battlefield with the crystal cost of 13 or lower. This hero has a crystal cost of 13 or lower. And I place it in my mortuary. Now I have 1 crystal left. So what I can do right now, I'll tap this crystal to give me 19 metro crystals and 4 mana crystals. I'll use the 4 mana crystals. Well, right now I'm playing this card, so it doesn't really matter what crystals I use. So actually no, it's not 19 plus 4. Again, It's 23 minus 9. That's 14. So I use 9 of those crystals to play this one. This one ends. Goes to my mortuary. And I devour a card on the battlefield with a crystal cost of 6 or lower, which is this one. And now the opponent player has 8 attack points. So 11 minus 3 is 8. I removed the 3 from this heroes because it was killed. So now it's 11 attack points. Now it goes back to 8. And now I can attack the opponent player. But if I attack the opponent player, it'll deal me 8 damage. And I don't want to take 8 damage because most of my creatures would die. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in my hand. I could also play my hero. But if I play my hero, yeah, I'll play my hero. I'll tap. I have 14 left before. 14. This is tap 4 crystals. That'll be 18. I play my hero. Then I set the health points of all players back to 27. So this opponent player that had 11 health left will now go back to 27. I already have 27 health before. And then my hero says Merciful. Move a card on the battlefield. Move a card in any player's mortuary into your hand. And move this hero into my hand. Or not. I'll move this card into my hand instead. Just in case it plays a hero again. I'll move that card into my hand. And then I end my turn by discarding a card. I do not attack this turn. Now the opponent player has the 4 attack points and the pacifier effects will wear off this turn. It's not this player's turn. Now its attack points is now back to 3. Back to 0. It still can't draw a card because he overdrafted 3 turns ago. And I untaps everything. Luckily, I still have a hero. So I tap 8 crystals to play that hero. I play 1 crystal. Now I add the 3 attack points and 1 defense points of this hero back into my attack points to defense points. I tap 10. That's 8. And these 2 are each worth 1. So that's 10 to play these 2 creatures. Then I tap 6. Well, I tap 8. And then use 6 of that 8 to play this on Temple of Scorn, which states move a card on the battlefield with the crystal cost of 2 or lower into my hand. Now move this card into my hand instead. And then reduce the crystal cost to 0. I reduce this crystal cost to 0. I play it. And I draw 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll just move it back here. I think I played crystal this turn, but I don't remember. I think I did. So these are the cards in my hand. I use the remaining 2 crystals that I have to play these 2 Solo of Reverence, which states enchant a hero you control. the enchanted hero gains +2 defense points. So I enchant this hero, and I'll increase this defense points, this one, to +2, and +2 again. So that's +4. So this hero's defense points will be 4. It will be 5. That means this player defense points will now be 5 while this hero is on the board. So I still have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 crystals. 12 crystals left to play cards. I tap all 12 of them. Split this creature, and then I played a hero, so I do this again. I guess I keep forgetting about this card. So I actually don't have 12. I have a lot more than 12 crystals left. So I played my hero a while ago. I think this is my second or third hero that I played. So it's my third hero that I played. That means, well, that's all I have. 3. That means each crystal that I had was actually worth 8 instead of 4. So, but it doesn't really matter right now because I don't have that many cards left in my hand. I play this card, Accenting Wind, give myself +4 attack points. So now I have 7 attack points. And then I used 4 crystals to give myself +1 attack points. So now I have 7 + 1 attack points. That's 8. So I have 8 attack points until the end of my next turn and pacifier. I end my turn. No, I don't end my turn at all. I attack the opponent player. And I can either block. This I can either block or not. I'll be dealing 8 damage. +2. Weaken 2. So that'll be 8, 9, 10 damage. And then 10 minus 4. This opponent player, this hero has 4 defense points. That'll be 6 damage. So I'll take 6 damage minus 6. Now I have 21 health left. Now it's this player's turn. It overdrafted last turn. Overdrafted 9 last turn, so there's really nothing else to play this turn. I play a crystal. I tap 19 to play Elia's Domination. Kill a card on the battlefield with a crystal cost that's equal to or lower than this hero, spell. I kill the hero. So it's 8 attack points now will be 4 attack points. So 14 out of 14 out of 19. I have 5 crystals left. I tap this crystal. This crystal will give me 23 plus 5. That's 28. I use 17 of those to play this hero. My hero again. These two are done. Then I set my health. That would just reduce back to 27. And then I can move a card in any mortuary into my hand with the crystal cost of 17 or lower. How many cards I have in my deck? Not enough. So I have to do something here, but I don't know what card to take. So I can take a card that kills a card, or I can take the hero of the opponent player. I think I may end up taking the hero of the opponent player and then playing that hero. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Or I can take my hero back, but then I'll just be. I'll take the opponent player's hero. So I'll take the hero. I had 28 minus 17. I think there's still 8 left. I use that 8 to play this hero. Now I can only choose one of these effects. The two effects are: you may attack an opponent player as if you're a creature on the battlefield, or you and creatures under your control may attack creatures under the control of opponent player anytime you or they are able to attack. I'll choose the you may attack opponent players during your turn as if you're a creature on the battlefield. So I'll choose that effect. Now I have 3 attack points, 1 defense points, 27 health. This one, I can attack this turn. This one should be untapped. Oh, this one is tapped. Hmm, that's weird. I untap it just in case. I slant 1, and then I trigger the effect. Move a creature on the battlefield on an opponent player's on an opponent player's side of the battlefield back into his player's hand. I move this creature back into his player's hand, and I do not attack. I do not attack because there's really nothing else for me to do. I guess I could have done something else, but I have nothing else to play. So I end my turn. Now it's this player's turn. This player can draw a card now. Draws a card. And now I can overdraft again. I've already overdrafted 2. Now I can overdraft 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can overdraft more, or I can just let the game play out 1, 2, 3, 4 until I win the game. So I'm not going to overdraft. I just play a crystal. Tap 4 crystals to play weaken 1. To play Temple of Law. Gives an opponent player and a creature weaken 1. So the opponent player has weaken 1 times 3, so that's weaken 3. This creature has weaken 1. Play this crystal. It gives me 3 more crystals. I play this creature. Then I end my turn. Now it's this player's turn. So actually, no. the player that'll end up losing is actually this side. Simply because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 turns. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this opponent player has 13 more rounds to go before he loses. 14 more rounds to go before he loses. While this side has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more rounds before he loses. And there's nothing else that can really be done. Or there is. I do not attack. I end my turn. Now it's this player's turn. Plays a crystal. Gains the effect of this crystal and this crystal. There's nothing else to play. And to turn. Now it's this player's turn. Draws a card. Plays a crystal. Then overdrafts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no, overdraft 4. And then I play these two cards. I give this creature -2. It dies immediately. I give this creature -2. It stays on the board until next turn. And then it'll die. At the end of this turn, and then it'll die. Actually, no, I prefer giving this one. I give this one -2. It stays on the board until next turn where it dies. Until the end of this turn where it dies. I end my turn. This one dies. Now it's the opponent player's turn. Plays a crystal. I can attack, but there's no point in attacking. Simply because I have weaken 3. So if I attack, all these creatures can block me. Then I'll be taking 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. Plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3. So that's 13 plus 12, that's 25. I'll be taking 25 damage if I do attack. So I'm not going to attack. So I guess I probably shouldn't have taken the hero. But I end my turn. Before I end my turn, I move a card on the battlefield back into this player's hand. Now it's this opponent player's turn. He overdrafted 4 last turn. My pencil somewhere. I think I dropped it somewhere. Play a crystal. These creatures attack the opponent player. These 2 block. This one blocks this one. Actually, no. These 2 block. This one blocks this one. This one blocks this one. These 2 block this one. This one blocks this one. This one blocks this one. So this one dies. 4 damage, 2 defense points, 2 health points. This one doesn't die. One of these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This creature dies. Let me see. And this creature dies. Now it's the opponent player's turn. Plays a crystal. Ends the turn. Move a card on the battlefield back into his player's hand. This one. Now it's this player's turn. Plays a crystal. There's nothing else to play. I can attack. These two attack. This one blocks this one. This one blocks this one. Nothing happens as far as I'm aware of. Now it's this player's turn again. Plays a crystal. Nothing happens. Now it's this player's turn. Untaps everything. Oops. Move this back to this player's hand. I play these two creatures this turn. Nothing happens. Now it's back to this player's turn. Move this creature back into this player's hand. Ends the turn. And as this thing is going through, I think this side's gonna lose. This side's gonna win because this side has more cards than this side. So in the end, even though because of all the removals that this side has, it pretty much just shuts off everything that this side can play. That's pretty much how this deck was built. And I like it now because it is more fine-tuned. So I'm drawing the cards that I need. And this deck is actually very, very powerful. And I like the way it's playing right now. So I'll end this here. So so right now, after I finish editing that deck, it's now been 2-0. So this side has won 2 times, this deck has won 2 times, and this deck has won 0. That deck is actually very powerful. And I'm probably gonna play another game again just to see how it plays. But from the way I've seen it right now, it looks like this deck may not. It'll be very hard for this side to win the game. As long as this side can play the their cards early game, you can find the early game cards. There's no way it seems like it's very hard. I'm not gonna say there's no way, but it seems like it's gonna be very hard for this side to lose. So that's it for this video. I'll see you next time.